Tanner's pick of the week, the one and only 1986's The Fly.
1986, The Fly. I guess I'll give the plot on this one.
Yeah, lay it out for us. Do we watch the right version? I assume you watched the one I had in Plex.
No, I watched, how did I watch it? I think I watched it through, like, HBO Max or something.
Was it the 1986 film? I guess we'll figure out by...
It's the one with Jeff Goldblum in it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the one that everyone knows.
Yeah, so we've got Jeff Goldblum, and he's trying to get laid. So he takes this lady back to his lab, and he shows off, hey, I've got a teleporter. Isn't that cool as fuck? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to tell everyone. And he's like, well, let's not do that. And then he convinces her to not, like, just expose his invention by being like, nah, listen, you can write a book, you can follow me around, this, that, and the other. They end up falling in love. The problem with the teleporter is he hasn't figured out how to transmit organic matter yet. And then after getting laid, he finally figures it out, because that's what Zero Pussy does to a motherfucker. So he plugs in some boop boop bops into the computer, and he successfully teleports a monkey. The first monkey he teleported, he fucking eviscerated it, but that's beside the point. And then she goes off to confront her ex-boyfriend, who is also her boss, which isn't awkward at all. Also, that guy breaks into her house at one point, which was funny.
He has a key.
It's still breaking in if she doesn't want you there.
I guess so.
And so Jeff Goldblum gets drunk and he's angry, and so he decides to just do his fucking teleporter. But there's a fly in the teleporter. Uh-oh. And he teleports with the fly, and then the fly disappears. And then, you know, we find out, the machine combined him and the fly, and he starts transforming. He's slowly turning into a weird fly-human hybrid thing, and he's losing his mind. He's going fucking crazy. He's like... you know, oh my gosh, I'm turning into a higher being, blah, 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 and he's going crazy, and then he tries kidnapping her, and he gets her pregnant, and he's like, nah, you gotta have the baby, and then the boss shoots him, and there's this big fight, and then finally, they throw him in the teleporter, he combines with another teleporter, and then they mercy kill him by shooting him in the head.
No.
And it immediately ends afterward.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, instantly.
I was gonna say,
good.
I didn't like the ending, and then
What?
Well, hold on, let me finish my thought here. Yeah, I didn't like the sudden ending. I was like, surely... because they expanded so much on the pregnancy thing, like, surely they have to do something with that, and they didn't. And I was like, alright, you just ended a movie very abruptly for no reason, and then for meta reasons, there is a second movie, so I think they ended this movie with the intention of knowing they were making a second one, and they already knew. There's no way you end a movie like that and don't already have an idea for something that's going to come afterwards.
I completely disagree.
We can just assume she's going to get an abortion. That's what she was planning on doing anyways. And the whole point of the movie was to follow Jeff Goldblum, so I don't really know why we'd care about anything else. I think it ended fine, personally.
Yeah, I think the abrupt ending actually works quite well for the fucking horror we
witnessed. Not all the loops were tied down, man. That's all I'm saying. But I will say the card art, or whatever you want to say, the movie, the box cover art for the next movie is in fact a child standing in front of a teleporter. So
yeah.
I
don't think they made this with the intention of I don't think they knew they were going to make a sequel after this.
The only reason I put that together is because I saw that box art. So I don't know. It seems too convenient.
I do actually have a criticism about the ending itself. What's up with him? I guess I have to suspend my disbelief for a second, but with the three, he created another chamber for the teleportation. He converted the teleporting thing to a gene splicer. It was already a gene splicer, so I don't know why he did that in the first place. But how does he even have the dexterity at this point to even fucking construct a machine like that? The dude could barely even use a fucking keyboard. And he constructed a whole other fucking chamber. And also
he had all three chambers the whole time.
Did he?
He had all three chambers?
I thought he only had two.
No, when he brought her home, the first thing he showed her is, that's my prototype one. I built that first, but it's a bit clunky. And then he points out the other two.
See, he said that, and I only saw two, so, but...
Well, it's a bit clunky, then. I'd imagine he still has to do work on it, then.
Well,
I think clunky is just some stupid thing, so
Regardless, though, the thing was already a gene splicer, as we witnessed, with the fact that he literally combined himself with a fucking fly. So why not just avoid hooking up this other thing and complicating it all, and just go into the machine with the chick at the same time?
I think it's really just as simple as the teleporter is too small for them to both fit into one at the same time.
That's fair. I definitely see that, but I don't know. From my perspective, it kind of just looks like they just wanted an excuse to have a better way out for the woman, because obviously the solution to their problem was just disconnect the machine she was on by shooting the wires, and that stops the process from happening. It just seemed like they wanted an excuse to use that ending or that way out of it. They couldn't see a way out of that situation without writing it that way. I don't know. It felt clunky to me. Is how I interpreted it when I was watching. And
I agree that is why they set it up like that. But I don't really think it's clunky. I think but there probably is a version of this script where they do only have the 2 teleporters, and then they get to that scene and they're like, okay, how do we? Because I feel like the scene trying to get the woman out of it would look clunkier if he is trying to shove them both in the same pod. So they're like, oh, what if
Frankly, I think the horror element would have worked a lot better if she's in the fucking pod with the dude as he's fucking falling apart and actually turning into a horrible ant monster, and they're stuck in this super enclosed space with each other. That sounds fucking horrifying, and I think that would have worked a lot better, at least for me.
But then they wouldn't have got the teleporter ending, like him being fused with it, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly, which is why I'm saying that they did that whole setup with the 3 machines so that they could have that ending.
Yeah. As far as being able to construct, if the third one was constructed at the end and him not having the dexterity,
it wasn't. I'm telling you, it was there the whole time. This is
it still required work though.
But what I'm saying is, what he said in the beginning of the movie was he didn't really do any of the work. What he does is he gets parts sent into him from other places, which still requires dexterity. But a majority of the big work, I guess, is done. So it's kind of like a collect and assemble. Yeah,
it seems like he's doing a lot of the programming stuff, I guess.
I mean, he still had fingers, I'm not saying he was working very fast, but he could. We saw him a couple times being
I guess we also don't necessarily know how long of a time skip it was, because they don't really go into depth on how long everything is.
It seems like it was a reasonably long time between when he first starts really, really transforming and when she goes back to see him again.
Well,
didn't they say 4 weeks or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it can't be any more than probably 2 months, I would assume.
I'm pretty sure he specifically, in the note he sent her, I'm pretty sure he specifically said, the reason I haven't seen you for 4 weeks or whatever is this, that, or the other, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we talk about just real quick, the reason this movie was made?
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is the effects. The creature effects, the monster effects, the rotting skin, the fucking transformation.
It was good. I thought it was good.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah,
almost the Thing level, if not maybe.
Oh yeah. So obviously, it accelerates throughout the movie. It's I like how they don't point out, the way his skin is changing before they do it. We, as the audience, are he's looking kind of fucked up, and then she points it out. I like that we get to be something's off here before the movie spells it out for you.
Yeah.
The way his teeth are changing and growing the hair and all this, and then that final transformation where it's just basically his human parts just schlepping off of him. That was cool as fuck. That looks so sick.
It was so gross. I almost could not handle that scene. It was almost too much for me.
Yeah. So counterpoint there, Tanner. Ew, body horror. Ew, gross. Ugh. I don't want to see that. He's pulling his nails out. Ugh.
I feel like they accomplished their goal in doing that, though, if your reaction was that.
True.
That's why I don't base these horror movies off that anymore.
Ew, I don't like it. Ew.
Well, I used to rank these kinds of movies lower because of that, but then I made the realization that was their intention, so if anything, the ranking should go up because of it.
Intention does not make it fine, Dylan.
Are you saying that's bad?
No, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with the body horror in this. I'm just saying,
Okay.
we need to put this idea that intention equals good under the bus. Okay.
I think it depends on the context. In the context of this is a horror situation and it's body horror, like you were saying, I think intentionality in this scenario is very good.
Anyways, you know what was the scariest scene for me?
Which one?
It was when she was giving birth, because I didn't realize that was like a dream at first.
Yeah.
And then the thing pops out of her, and dude, that legitimately made me be like, oh, what the fuck? I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Well, and then they're
That
there's
fucked me up a
another
little
one
bit.
in there, and I'm like, there can't be another one in there if that thing was that big. Come on.
Did they say that? I don't even.
They said that was a line. I'm pretty sure it was a line in there. I don't if anybody else remembers.
They said there's more in there, or something like that.
Something like that. So,
Yeah.
I was also expecting something smaller, not like a whole ass larva, you know? But I had a thought.
Nico, was the girl hot?
Yeah, she was alright. I dug her a decent bit. Jackson said she looked a lot like Winona Ryder, which I personally don't agree with.
So to me, she looked like a grown-up version of her, just like with like the hair and the outfits and stuff. Specifically, like how she was presented in Heathers.
I think Az was just a style at the time.
Yeah, probably.
True. Did these come out in the same year? 86?
I don't know.
No, Heathers was 89. Or what?
No,
it was in
I
the
think
90s.
Heathers was 89. No, it was the 80s.
It was 88. But yeah, they're very close. And okay.
Anyway, I like the plot. I like the way how it is, like, you know, once he comes out of the machine, you can kind of tell, they kind of get him to start acting like a fly, where he's super hyperactive, he's fucking, like, all over the place, he's getting, he's, like, clearly losing it, whatever. Yeah, the sugar and the fucking throwing up on his food.
He also goes through this weird phase of, like, I feel great, I want other people to be like this, which is like, I need to figure out a way to change myself. I think the reason he quickly gets away from this is, like, I need to find a way to go back. And he, like, puts it to the computer, like, how do I become normal? And he's like, you need normal, like, splices of human DNA. Like, living human DNA. And he knew he couldn't do that without, you know, committing murder. And then he converts back to, like, I need to, like, accelerate the process. And then at the very end, he's like, then we could be a superhuman. Me, you, and the child will be 3-in-1 ultimate family. It was kind of...
What do you think that would have looked like?
I don't want to imagine, honestly. I was thinking of an amalgamation. I was reimagining the Thing, basically. I think his multiple trips through the teleporter, though, accelerated the process, because the first time he became, like, this superhuman kind of person, I think he was, like, okay. Like, I'm sure it was still, like, deteriorating him slowly, but I think when he went through the teleporter probably, like, 2 or 3 more times, like, once we saw, and then, like, a couple more times off screen, I think that's really when the process accelerated, because he was kind of fine the first time. So
maybe
he would have been okay if he just went through the one time.
That might make sense. I like how he starts calling himself Brundlefly. That was really funny.
That was almost a cringe moment for me, not gonna lie. I thought that wouldn't stick, and they stuck it through the rest of the movie. I was like, alright, we're here now.
That's just because you don't like the name Brundle.
I don't think that's the reason.
That's too Jewish for Dylan.
That's definitely not the reason.
Dylan's one of those fucking Spaceballs writers.
What's up with the fucking creepy weirdo dude? Kind of turned into the goat at the end. Like, he's been like just some fucking weirdo trying to get into her pants the whole time, and then suddenly he's fucking the guy that saves her ass, and he's like super cool in the very end. Weird.
I don't know
how they portrayed that change.
Yeah, it was an interesting script choice. I didn't quite understand it myself.
I think that's just kind of the way the 80s wrote relationships between men and women. They're like, yeah, he's a pervert, but he's fucking obsessed with her, so...
Whatever works, my guy, I guess.
Also,
I wasn't a big fan of that either.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like, women are so emotional and they're crazy, they'd fall in love with this fucking fly dude. We need a clear-headed man to know he's got to blow his fucking head off.
Yeah, was that random chick he fucked pregnant with his fly babies now?
Probably.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe that's what the sequel's about.
I'm shocked his sperm is functional.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, you know?
And carrying fly DNA in them. Wait, actually, I guess they never confirmed that.
Yeah. I mean, they fucked prior to him turning into a fly as well.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, she was so worried about having fly babies, but I think she forgets the time they had sex before.
Yeah, she forgets how much of a whore she is.
Yeah. Why is he, like, turn into a fucking cripple mid-transformation? It's like, he's, like, some fucking superhuman, and then the next time she sees him, he's some fucking, like, crippled old man that can barely walk without a cane, and then the next time she sees him, he's climbing on the goddamn walls.
His body needed to adjust.
It was probably, like, some kind of metamorphosis, where, like, his human body was the chrysalis, and then on the inside he was forming the fly body, probably, I would imagine.
Dude, that scene when she fucking, like, he's, like, trying to grab her and she, like, goes in his mouth and then it rips his jaw off.
That was fucking...
yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yikes! Yee! Hated that.
The only way that would be worse if they had, like, his tongue hanging out the bottom. They didn't go that far. Or, like, having a proboscis unfurl.
Yeah, I guess that...
that would have been gross as fuck. That would have been crazy.
This movie definitely did a good job of what it did.
Yeah, my only note that I have written down is, Jesus.
Fair.
Was that when you saw the side boob action going on?
I don't think so.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Dylan didn't watch the movie.
I did watch the movie. What part did that happen?
Your eye didn't pop out your head. You go, ooh!
I think we very clearly discussed the difference between what I see versus what you guys see.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan looked
he doesn't
away.
see gender or color.
He was bashful.
Or side
Anyway.
boob.
Do we have any other thoughts on this movie?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Well then, I'll go ahead and go first. I thought this movie was very good. It's an effective horror movie. There are a few nitpicks here and there. I'm gonna go A+.
Nice.
Ooh, A+, you say A+. I'm thinking more so... let's go B. B feels good to me.
Huh. B for Brundlefly.
Yeah, B for
I'm glad you said B,
Brundlefly.
because that's also the exact rank that I gave it.
There we
Whoa,
go.
No way.
I just wasn't super sold about like the general plot. It seemed like a... I don't know, I'm not going to go into it. Dylan, give your ranking.
I'm going to give this movie an A-.
Nice.
Pretty good movie overall, I think.
And that puts us at an A-, actually.
Let's go! I strategically formulate my rankings because I know what you guys are going to say before you say it.
True, he's farming green check marks, he's farming them.